Hey guys, welcome back. Winter Wolf here, going to give you the Ahsoka Episode 7 Dreams and Madness breakdown, reaction, review, whatever we're calling these things these days. And I'm going to try and be quicker than normal on this one because, guys, really, I've lost a lot of interest in this show through 7 episodes. I'm eager to get this one done and out of the way. Next week is the last episode. I'm looking forward to that just to see how they wrap this mess up. But all in all, it's just kind of been it's been flat and kind of bland and just disappointing. This episode here, given the runtime that it had, it really doesn't do anything impressive or anything fun, except for the last scene. I'll give them that. It's basically Hera getting court-martialed for reasons. Stupid. None of that makes any sense. That's not how any kind of military structure would work. She'd have some autonomy there at the beginning. She gets off the hook easily with a cheap payoff that they kind of set up the episode previous by doing a little bit of a little key jingling. Look, keys. Look, it's 3PO, everybody. Keys, you like 3PO. So, we put that scene right away. It kind of stunk. Ahsoka's on Fulcrum. She's flying in the space whale towards, the faraway galaxy she needs to get to. She does some saber training in what looks like agonizing arthritic pain and in slow motion while yet another hologram of Anakin is playing, and it's kind of pumping her tires and, giving her a little bit of inspiration. But hey, again, guys, it's Anakin. Look, jingling keys. Look over here. It's Anakin. You love Anakin, right? No, whatever. They, of course, come out of the whale's migratory route right where they needed to be. There was no searching. There was no obstacles. There was no setbacks, no challenges, no nothing.
Oh, there's a fucking surprise.
But they come right into Thrawn's trap, which he so cleverly... Oh, Thrawn, wait a minute. Jingle, you guys like Thrawn, right? They end up in a minefield. They evade the mines. The ship takes no damage. They're never in any danger. They hide in the debris ring of the space whale boneyard around one of the planets. So it's occurrence 6447 of the heroes evading Empire forces by flying into a debris field and cutting power. Like, you don't think the Empire could figure out a way around that? I mean, they figured out hyperspace tracking, right? Oh wait, that was stupid. So she hides out for a quick minute there. Thrawn has a little conversation with Morgan Elsbeth, the Baroness, the Governess, whatever she is, doing the Thrawn thing. I want to know everything about Ahsoka. I want to know who her master is, where she's from, her culture. And I'm scratching my head because I'm saying, in this timeline, do you not know that Ahsoka was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan? Like, how does a top-ranking Empire official not know that? I would think that was a matter of public record, given that Anakin and Ahsoka were publicly in training kind of thing. They're connected in that student-teacher way. So I don't know how Thrawn wouldn't have known that, which I thought that was kind of odd. But that's them trying to do the whole, we know everybody's expecting Thrawn to be cerebral and a thinker, so we got to do that. So they gave you that. We go from there right into the next setup for the big action set piece at the end of the episode. We kind of saw this coming last week. King Z and I touched on it in our respective videos. And speaking of King Z, we're getting together later to do our intro to Halloween. We'll do some horror trivia later, so stick around for that. That's going to be kind of cool. It'd be good to get back together on a video with him. But if you like hanging out with us, consider dropping a sub, comment below on our coverage of Ahsoka. We'd appreciate it. But so we got Sabine and Ezra. They're riding with the No T. Those were the rock lobster turtle things from last week's episode. They're riding out, trying to find a new spot to stay up, to get safe or whatnot. They're kind of shooting the shit and getting some superficial touches on the State of the Union. We get Zeb mentioned by name, just training new recruits somewhere. And the Hera's a general. And Sabine, again, ducks the truth about their situation. Ezra asks her a couple times about Ahsoka. When's Ahsoka coming? And she gets this wistful look and she kind of looks away. Doesn't want to answer the question straight up at that point. Right after that, we go back to Thrawn with the Night Sisters. He's requesting their assistance to see if they can locate using their version of Force magic or whatever they're calling it. And they do. They break out the little crystal ball things. They form their triangle, and somehow the triangle forms over Thrawn's imaging hologram thingy. And they find Ezra, and the ship starts to shell that spot in the debris field, and boom, they flush Ezra out. Right before that happens, though, Ahsoka does a little Force Skype call of her own where she kind of reaches out through the Force to reach Sabine so she can narrow down her own search area so she can find her friends. And I didn't really mind that so much. I saw a lot of people bitching about that as it being like, unused force power, and I'm like, did anybody see Empire? Like, Luke reached out to Leia, so like it's a thing. It can be done. Like that was not the most egregious thing Disney Star Wars has ever done, but it's whatevs. We flash down to the planet. We're down there with Balin and Shin. They're with the discount Tusken Raiders, overlooking the No-T caravan from up on hills. You know, they're up on the ridge. He basically sends her off and says he's staying behind. He's got his own destiny, his own path, and he says, you know, the way to her ambition is over yonder. And she kind of gets a little snotty, and she's like, wait a minute, you're not going to help? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go do some other shit. And then he fucks off for a while, and she goes with them. Thrawn scrambles a couple of fire teams, squads, whichever, to go down there and kind of back them up. Sabine and Ezra fight off the assault. They're mobile for a bit, but then they have to circle the wagons when one of them gets downed. One of the discount Tuskens jams like a shock rod into the engine and stalls it out. And Ezra's like, we're not going to leave him behind. And they do the circle the wagons thing. Ezra, for some reason, declines when Sabine offers him a lightsaber to fight with, saying that the Force is his ally. And that, you know, he knows he can handle it because she had trained a little bit with Ahsoka before he had, you know, taken off and, you know, left Rebels or whichever. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'll give him credit. It was cool to see Ezra kind of, you know, fight hand to hand using like force pushes and force deflects to like catch, you know, to throw people off, or to, you know, to duel Shin and kind of hold off the her lightsaber with, you know, the double hand block move that sometimes we've seen Ahsoka use in saber combat. But at the end of the day, I'm saying to myself, this is just a really stupid fucking thing to do. Like, even if you know she can handle the lightsaber, she's got 3 weapons on her, dude. She's got dual pistols and a saber. You've got the only 3 weapons this entire group has between you, between all of you. You got the 2 guns and the lightsaber to you. You got to use all your weapons. You know, if she's using a pistol and the lightsaber, there's 1 unused weapon, while the rest of these jackass rock turtle things are literally throwing ladles and rocks out the top of their anti-gravity based hovering transports. They have no blasters, they have no guns, they have no shields. They're throwing kitchen appliances. How the hell does that work in world building? Like, they want me to believe this group is perpetually on the run from the not Tusken Raiders, and they've survived. How? Like, they're not cloaked, they're not invisible, they don't have the Force, they have no guns, but somehow they managed to evade this other technologically advanced group that has blasters. Like, it was just dumb. Like, no, if you're Nomad, you're like the Tuskens, bro. You've got your rifles on the ready. You're living that homestead life. You gotta sack up. You know, that's how you do. I thought that was just kind of weird. But again, it looks stylish. It was alright. It was stylish but stupid, and that's pretty much Disney Star Wars. In a nutshell. So they hold them off. What do we got next? We got Ahsoka. Again, I love this. Ahsoka again in this ship evades 9 fighters through a debris field, the shelling from the Chimera Star Destroyer, and takes no damage. You know, you remember when the Millennium Falcon was escaping the first Death Star and A New Hope? Like, the TIEs are coming in blasting shit, and every hit rocked them a little bit, and it threw C-3PO to the side and was causing like fires to erupt, you know, in the hallways with you know, the wiring being exposed and all kinds of cool shit. We get none of that here. Like, they just take blaster fire nonstop. They're just getting pounded, and like nothing. So like, it's no stakes. There's no tension at all. Like, you don't believe that Hugh Young can, you know, take a blaster bolt in the cockpit and be disabled for a little while or anything. Like, nope, can't have that. No stakes. Can't do that. So anyways, she gets down to the planet, and lo and behold, there's a whole giant-ass planet, and where she touches down just happens to be Balin sitting on one of the Howler Mount Wolf riding thingies that Sabine fucked off on, you know, last episode to find Ezra. They decide they're going to duel it out. It's kind of a ipsy-doopsy duel. Like, yeah, it doesn't look too good. There's nothing too remarkable about it. Balin's doing Balin stuff. He's the most interesting thing on the show, and it's sad that we only get one more episode of him, where whatever plan he was talking about in the last episode, hopefully they fill in some blanks, but it's not looking good. Ezra and Sabine do okay dealing with the discount Tuskens until the stormtroopers arrive, and the night troopers, whatever they are, you know, the stormtroopers with the red Night Sister ribbons, if that's what's going on. They were doing okay, actually, but then they get outnumbered, and they get, you know, the order to, you know, stand down and we're going to kill you. And Ezra tries to talk his way out, but luckily for him, Ahsoka has fought Balin to a standstill and tricked him. She hijacks the Howler Mount and then kind of screws off down the mountain. She rescues the kids. She easily defeats Shin. And then this is the crazy shit right here, right? she's got Shin dead to rights. She beat her. And she offers her the olive branch, and she's like, you know, like, come with me, I can help you. And Shin just like turns around in like 0.75% normal speed and runs in the opposite direction towards nothing because the Imperial gunships have already taken off, like stranding her, I think. I have to go back and watch for that specific. But she basically turns around and runs away. And when Sabine and Ezra go to get her, Ahsoka's like, nah, dog, don't do that. And I'm like, dude, that's equally as stupid as Thrawn underestimating leaving 3 Jedi, or, you know, 2 Jedi and a Mandalorian alive on the planet and not committing to destroy them via orbital bombardment in the middle of the battle, sacrificing a few stormtroopers if you have to. Like, if there's any doubt in this girl at all, if you sensed it, you go after her, maybe you turn her back to the light, and then you're good. Like, no. Wasted opportunity. Hate it. Not good. So yeah, Thrawn calls off the troops. He's explaining to Morgan Elsbeth, yeah, these are acceptable losses. We probably could have won the battle had Baylan not fucked us over. And I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to take the L on this one because really, I just needed to stall. That way we could move all the cargo from the Night Sisters onto the Chimera. That way we could get the hell out of here. And we've done that. He shows us the cargo hold. And there's like 100 or so looking boxes, which look like caskets to me. I'm thinking maybe that's the rest of the Night Sisters in there, and they're gonna like reestablish a coven back in the New Republic side of space. I don't know. They don't mention if they're nukes or if they're weapons or if they're real. They don't say anything. They don't say if they're like Snoke clones or anything. That wouldn't really make sense. I'm thinking Night Sisters. I think that's how that would really, that could be the most interesting thing they do. Yeah, we get the Ahsoka thing I just mentioned. I got that a little reversed. I apologize. I would have liked to have seen Ahsoka have like some kind of crescendo style moment where like she almost reaches Shin because she says something that Anakin told her one time to help her refocus and realize what her destiny could be. You know what I mean? We didn't get that. She just let her fuck off and run away. And then Ahsoka reunites with Ezra, finally showing a bit of emotion. I'll give her that. She cracks a good smile, gives him a good hug, and then Byung shows up safe and sound because I guess the ships that were pursuing him all got recalled back to the Chimera on Thrawn's order. So yay, credits. Like that's it. It's like you got key jingling, you got some lightsaber shit, some pew-pews. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. None of it matters. None of it. Like next week is the finale of this show. We're clearly going to get all the heroes and all the villains back on the, we're going to get the heroes on the Chimera to face Thrawn. We're going to get Shin and Baylan still on the planet because I think they're stranded. And we're going to see what Baylan's plan could have been. But I think it's not going to come into fruition in any kind of meaningful way because they don't have the time. And I say again, they waste so much time with scenes that don't matter. Like the nonsense with this court-martial in this episode, with no stakes, with terrible writing, with terrible dialogue, with painting. Yet the only other like meaningful, I guess, male character on the show is being like a douche nozzle senator. No good for me. I did not like that at all. That was 6 minutes they could have used to spend and develop some of that time between Shin and Baylan, which according to everything I've seen, every channel I watch on YouTube, the fan pages I check out on Facebook, the Twitter stuff, the stuff on Reddit, people almost resoundingly agree that Baylan and Shin and their potential bond, their relationship, their history is the most interesting thing about this show because it's the only novel thing about this show. Like, we know who Ahsoka is. She's not really doing Ahsoka entertaining stuff to me. She's too dour. There's no emotion there. She doesn't fight with any kind of spirit, except in that one episode where she dueled Anakin, I guess. There was some trepidation and some nervousness there. But I'm saying, dude, dig into that. Rosario Dawson's got game. Let her act. Let her do her thing. Put her up against meaningful opponents and let her do interesting things or get into interesting situations she needs to resolve. But we didn't get any of that. That's the same thing with Hera and Sabine. Hera acts more like her rebel self than Sabine did, but even down the stretch, she still made dumbass decisions that didn't have any meaningful impact and required a bit of writers, smoke screens to get her out of the trouble she found herself in. Sabine's similar to that, like got herself into some trouble and then just got written out of the corner because the plot needed her to be written out of the corner. Like none of the decisions she's made have had any negative impact yet at all. And that just makes it cheap. Like there should be more to it than that. And that's this series in a nutshell for me so far. They had an opportunity to do something really cool here. And it occurred to me just a few hours ago, really, the biggest missed opportunity with this show if done meaningfully, and then it wouldn't have been more keys. In this universe, in this timeline, Luke Skywalker is alive, well, and in the peak prime of his power. How is he not on this show? He met Ahsoka in the Mandalorian show. They're aware each other exist. Does she not think Thrawn is a big enough threat that she should be consulting with the son of Anakin Skywalker, with the brother of General Leia Organa? Like, he shouldn't be involved here somehow? Really? That shouldn't have been the halfway point of the season where she realizes maybe she's made it to where Thrawn is, or she was on the way, but there were bigger challenges than she anticipated, and she knew she was going to need the experience of another upper echelon S-tier Jedi, and not just Sabine, who she's a terrible shot, where she didn't have literal plot armor on top of the Beskar. Like, she's been just about useless in this show. You know, but this was an opportunity to have Luke, and it occurs to me it's a massive squandered opportunity in that regard. But I'm looking forward just to seeing how it ends up. I always say that, even if I don't typically enjoy a show or a movie or a book, I am a completionist. I will typically finish the stuff I start, and I want to see where this ends up. You know, I don't think they're going to put anybody, you know, in a box. I don't think Sabine's going to die. I don't think Ahsoka's going to lose a hand. I don't think, you know, we're going to get any kind of surprise that really blows us away. I think we're going to see, in terms of like the nuts and bolts of the episode, I think the good guys are going to stow away on the Chimera. They'll do the hiding in the trash, you know, thing on the back of the ship. They'll magnetically dock to the Chimera or something, go through the loop. That way they can have a final space battle in Republic space. That way Hera and the New Republic can see Thrawn is back and then defeat him, because I'm not sure like what else they do going forward after that. If there's not going to be a season 2 to this, there can't be. The viewerships are too low. The numbers are out there on Samba TV. You can go check them out for yourself. It got a massive diminishing returns for this series. I've heard somebody say that Mando season 4 is supposed to pick up the threads here. That doesn't surprise me. Disney seems desperate to interweave all this crap and not let anything sink or swim on its own. So I mean, maybe Thrawn gets handed a defeat here at the end of this season, so they can do him up in Mando 4 and then defeat him there in time for the sequel trilogy to happen, because of course we know that that's a non-issue for Thrawn, and at that point in the timeline he should already be gone by episode 7. So that's it in a nutshell for me, guys. I'm not going any longer than this. I'm about half my usual runtime for the show, but I think I said everything I need to say. It's just disappointment after disappointment. It's the cheapest kind of nostalgia and key jangling without any real impact on the story, and that's the only time I tolerate fan service is when it's in service to the plot as well. But that's it for me, guys. I'm going to take off and go get ready for Horror Trivia Night with King Z. If you like the review, please let me know below. If you like the disagreements or the agreements, whatever you want to talk about, comments, we appreciate it. Consider hitting that sub button. We'd love to get over 200 by the end of the year. I know it's a pretty lofty goal, but I'd like to get us there because we have fun doing these kind of things. And stay tuned for the Horror Trivia. We'll get that out as soon as we can.